Pat and Dermot, thanks very much. We asked Pat and Dermot to come here today, I suppose, as key figures in the history of the 25-year history of the programme, and just to give some short reflections as people who had key involvement at key moments in time about the programme and to help us celebrate the 25th anniversary celebration today. So, Dermot, I know when I first contacted you, you were probably wondering, who's this fella, what's he on about? But do you have any kind of reflections, I suppose, on your involvement in the programme? You were here at the beginning.
Well, I qualified as a solicitor in 1976, and I did an awful lot of family law at that time when I was a young solicitor. So I was always aware of the difficulties, particularly for single parents, fighting the legal system and the lack of resources available to them. And then I got elected to Leinster House in 1987, and in 1997 I got my first ministry. And I said it to you in the phone call when you rang. I remember the day Bertie called me in to say he was giving me this department, which formerly was social welfare, but he said he was changing the name. He wanted to change the name to social, community and family affairs. It caused a huge logistical difficulty within the department to change the name.
We're more used to it these days.
Some of Pat Rabbitt's colleagues put down a PQ the very first week to find out how much the name change was going to cost. And apparently it was going to cost about 2 million, which was a lot of money in 1997. So we decided we'd keep the letter heading as it was, social welfare, until the stocks ran out. But Bertie said to me, in fairness to him, he said, I want to concentrate on 2 areas. I want to change the focus of the department just from a department that's giving out money to people to sort of concentrate in 2 areas. One was family affairs. That's why he called it social, community and family affairs. And the other one was to build up the community development projects around the country and to emphasise the need for recognition of voluntary groups. At the time, I think there were only about 10 family resource centres in 1997. And I think we had promised that over the lifetime of that government, we would increase it to about 100, which was a very significant increase. And I think by the time I was in that department for 5 years, I think by the time I left, there were nearly 100 family resource centres. I passed the legislation, or when I say I passed with the help of people like Pat Rabbitt and others, we passed the legislation putting in place the family support agency to try and bring it all together, which is now subsumed into TUSLA. And then over the years, I mean, reference was made to the huge changes that have taken place. I remember we launched the White Paper Commission on the Family in 1998, and 1998, yes. And one of the main issues was the definition of a family. And we had awful difficulty because of constitutional and legal issues. And it's just amazing to see the difference 25 years has made in relation to like the concept of family. And it reminds me of my time in justice then in 2010. I steered the civil partnership legislation, which gave equal rights to same-sex marriages, same-sex couples, sorry, and then we got the marriage equality. But the thought that we heard earlier about how much Irish society has changed in 25 years and how much it will change in the next 25 years, I think it's important that you know we ground ourselves in local communities. And I think the family resource centres are a key component in that. And, you know, I was aware of the work that all of you had done in relation to particularly the Ukrainians coming to our country. I think that's huge help that centres like yourselves can help these poor people coming from Ukraine. So I think it's been a good 25 years, and I suppose my one thought to all the funders is money spent on family resource centres is money well spent.
We'll take that. Thanks very much, Dermot. You mentioned the Family Support Agency was set up then subsequently, so that's around the time you came on the scene, Pat, is it?
Yeah, I thought I was only coming here for a cup of tea.
It's called scope creep.
Yeah, no, look, it's 20 years since last Saturday, actually. It was 6th of May 2003 that the agency was formally established, because the legislation said that the first day the CEO came in was the day that it was actually established. And just to place on record, I suppose, I think one of the best things you did, Dermot, was pick the late Michael O'Kennedy as your chair. Michael O'Kennedy was fantastic for the profile of the programme, and actually loved family resource centres. And so look, I just want to acknowledge Michael's role in the development of the programme as well. But thank you. But for me, I mean, I got so much more out of the programme than I ever gave the programme. From going around and listening and learning. And I suppose I would have grown up, my dad would have been involved a lot in voluntary work, and Vincent de Paul, and I would have gone around with him in those days. But the thing that struck me was that the centre gave a structure to the programme. It gave a structure to volunteers. And I suppose today I want to acknowledge the work of volunteers. There'd be no problem without the volunteers. And I just want to reignited my love for volunteering, and since they call it retirement, I don't know what it is now, I mean, but anyway, I'm gone 2 years, but I'm on about 4 or 5 different voluntary boards at the moment, and it really reignited my love for volunteering. I just want to say, my respect for you is just huge, and thank you so much. Yeah.